Hi, welcome back to Max XP, the place you come for a nice reprieve. I am your host, Captain Clump, and I am very excited to talk about our subject today, which is the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because hey, we're in this together. And if know anyone else who could use a nice reprieve from all the insanity that is in this world, hey, tell them to come here. This is a nice little place that we have where we can kind of fit in between the other things that we watch. That's, all the drama and all the politics and all the insanely mentally draining stuff. And we come here and we get a nice refresher, a little palate cleanse, if you will. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the new Demon Slayer movie. I have been excited to watch this since I knew it was hitting theaters. I've been excited to watch it ever since I realized it was coming out in movie format. So this turned out to be a lot better than I thought. We had it delayed a week because we had some things come up last week when we were going to go the day of release, but it couldn't happen. Life got in the way. But we went the other day, and man, we both loved it. My wife had to check out a little early because we had to go and pick up the kid, but I did finish the movie, and it was phenomenal. So let's talk about some of the things that I thought that really stuck out. The art in Demon Slayer, I had forgotten, is so vibrant, so beautiful, and everything about the show was just gorgeous. There's really not much that anyone can really say about the art. One thing that stood out to both of us, both me and my wife, was the music was almost entrapping. As soon as the music started in this movie, we were immediately just sucked in. Like we felt like we were sitting in, not just in the theater, in the movie, watching these events take place, and it made it very surreal. It was very action heavy, but a lot of drama mixed in with the action. A lot of feelings throughout the whole thing. It was so good. So artistically, it's definitely, I don't know, it's got to be in the higher echelons of overall art direction when it comes to anime. Demon Slayer is one of the best, and Demon Slayer Infinity Castle made everything that Demon Slayer was as far as art, and then turned it up to, I usually say turn it up to 11, this one turned up to 25. This one went way above and beyond. For that reason alone, if you're an art fanatic, I would say go and watch the movie, because you will definitely be pleased. It was very pleasing to the eye, very pleasing to the ear. Overall, an excellent experience in that regard. As far as the story goes, I think we walked in with the expectation like this is going to be action heavy. Like they're literally being dropped behind enemy lines. So we knew going into it that there's going to be a lot of action in this one, and of course, didn't disappoint. It starts off with everybody just literally falling into the Infinity Castle after ambushing Muzan Kibutsuji, and they all just end up in different places because that was the whole point of just separating everybody, and then basically divide and conquer is the whole premise here, and the whole point of the Infinity Castle. So everybody kind of has their own battles they're going through, and just like everything with Demon Slayer, there's a lot of drama and a lot of heaviness, but they also tend to make some moments pretty lighthearted, and some moments that give you a little bit of a chuckle in between. Kind of what this channel is, a little bit of a respite in between all the heavy make you feel stuff things. Yeah, that's kind of what that was. I mean, we follow Tanjiro and his fight trying to get to Muzan, but there's just a lot of things that get in the way, particularly Akaza, which is one of the best characters, probably the best demon all around, but one of the best characters. By the end of this movie, you will know why he's one of the best characters that Demon Slayer has. And we see a total flip of the switch for Zenitsu. He's always been one of the characters that annoyed me, and then this movie came around, and it's just, he's not the Zenitsu that we were all used to. He's not the slobbery crying goofball and only is useful when he's asleep. No, he's very serious. You can tell there's a lot of heartbreak in his character, and I'm not going to go into why. I mean, if you watched the last arc, you know why, but the encounter he has is very emotional when you know when you try and figure out what's going through his head, and you try and understand how he's feeling about the situation, why he's fighting the way he is, etc., etc. Overall, like, Zenitsu's story arc in here has very interesting dynamic compared to what we have known Zenitsu to be. And of course, Inosuke pops around, and Inosuke never changes. Inosuke is just gonna Inosuke, which I love everything about that. But we also see a fight between Shinobu and I can't remember the demon's name, but the one that killed her sister, number 2. And it's a lot to take in, I will say that. It had some twists that definitely I wasn't expecting. I mean, if you've read the manga, you're aware of, what happens, but it was just very emotional how things took place. And same thing with Tanjiro and Gyu against Akaza. It was very emotional and very dramatic, and a particular event takes place in the movie when they think it's been resolved and it isn't. My wife, like, when it happened, was like, "Are you kidding me?" She was like legitimately infuriated, and I'm like, well, makes sense with his character, but also how. And then things just kind of kept going and kept escalating, and then you see a change in Akaza, and things take a turn that I wasn't expecting, and it was very emotional and very dramatic, and it was very, very good. So, kind of characters that if you will go and see the movie, that you should definitely hone in on. Akaza, definitely. Shinobu, Zenitsu, definitely. Zenitsu definitely, I think, hit me the hardest between all of them, other than, well, I can't say that. Akaza hit me the hardest, but Zenitsu is a very close number 2. So I guess that's all my thoughts really on the art, the story, the characters, the dramatic moments. Some pros: this movie definitely is engaging. It is probably one of the more engaging movies that I've seen in quite a while, and I would highly, highly recommend that anybody go and see it. I mean, if you haven't seen anything of Demon Slayer, I would say watch the show. It's definitely worth your time. I mean, obviously, Zenitsu is one character that takes a minute to kind of get used to. My wife was like, "I can't stand him," and I'm like, "I know, he's a lot." And then as the show goes on, you kind of either get used to his character, or he kind of just becomes endearing. But it's like a total flip of the switch with his character in Infinity Castle. So yeah, if you haven't seen Demon Slayer, the show, go back, watch the show. I promise you'll enjoy it. And if you don't, well, agree to disagree, I suppose. But it's worth it just to watch this movie. This movie alone is definitely a good payoff. And obviously it's not a full payoff, because this is one of 3. There will be 2 other movies released for the Infinity Castle arc, which, let's go ahead and just roll into the cons at that point. One con is this is only one of 3 movies. And this one that's one thing that I don't like about Demon Slayer, is there's so much that they kind of intersperse. They always have to, like, in the middle of a fight, they'll take you back in time to somebody's backstory. I'm like, I don't care about this right now. You could have done this before. You could have done this after. You could have done this at the climactic moment. The enemy is about to die, or the character's about to die. Let's have a little bit of backstory on them. But no, it's like in the middle of the fight. It's like there's so much action going on, and now we get to enjoy a moment of quiet retrospection, and I'm like, I don't want this right now. This is kind of interrupting the feel. So that's one big con that Demon Slayer's always really had, and it definitely showed. It was shown pretty heavily in the movie that this was just not needed. So that's one con, is just the interjected retrospections. I just felt like were just misplaced. The other con, I would say, this movie is very long. I wasn't expecting it to be like 2.5 hours. It felt like almost 3 hours. Let's see, we went in at about 7, and we didn't get out until almost 10 o'clock. It was a very long movie, and that's that's one big con, is you gotta go in and be ready for a long movie. And I mean, it didn't feel like it was that long because there was so much going on, and obviously we were so engaged. I mean, even when my wife had to take off early, it didn't feel like we were surprised at what time it was, and it still went on like a half hour after that. And by the time I got out, I'm like, I can't believe there's still more to come. And then we realized it was almost 10 o'clock, and we're like, jeez, that movie took forever. So that's another con, is just it's a long movie. So kind of summing everything up, artistically, like both visually and audibly, it is beautiful. One of the better movies, I think, even as anime goes, as non-anime goes, on both sides. Like this movie is worth the watch just because of the artistic aspect of it. The characters are all thoroughly engaging. I love every single one of them. You know, obviously this is Demon Slayer. There's going to be people that we lose, and we did lose some people, and those that we lost, like, I definitely felt it. And there were a lot of dramatic moments that led up to those losses, as well as dramatic moments that led up to losses of characters that I didn't think I really cared about, and then we lost them, and I'm like, well, crap, I liked them too. And yeah, so there's just a lot to like about this movie. The only drawbacks, once again, is just the length and the interspersed retrospectives that just felt out of place where they were placed. That's the only issue that I really had a problem with. The length obviously is a bit of a problem if you have a lot to do, and we all do. But you know, late in the evening, it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, very good movie. I highly recommend it. If you want to see a very intense, adrenaline-filled, but also very deep and dramatic movie, hey, Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, definitely worth a watch. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope you liked the movie. Let me know in the comments below. And also, once again, as per usual, any comments that I really like, we'll make a follow-up video, and we'll read through those comments, and we'll talk about it. So hit like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're in this together. So we'll see you next time. Have a good one.